What it do, Packer Nation? I'm Camille Davis coming to you on the Pack a Day podcast YouTube page after a disappointing, disheartening, other dis words that express dissatisfaction with what I just saw out there on that football field. Packers lose 13-10 on a game-winning field goal to the Cleveland Browns, who came into the game 0-2, so they get their first win against the Packers. Packers catch their first L against Cleveland. Every single Cleveland Brown point came in the fourth quarter, a 13-0 quarter in favor of the Cleveland Browns. Like, when the Browns kicked the field goal, to make the game 3-10, it was okay. Love gets the ball, Packers offense gets on the field. Love interception sets up a Browns touchdown. They scored 10 of those 13 points in less than a minute, really less than 40 seconds, because that Packers drive was only about 30 seconds with that interception. Then the Browns scored on the first play in about 7 seconds. So that's a disappointing game. Disappointing game. And here's the real reason why disappointing. Like, I mentioned the giving of 13 points on the fourth quarter, sure, but the Packers defense still only gave up 13 points in this entire game. The offense has got to get you more than 10. You know what I mean? They got to get you more than 10. But even before we even hit on that point, this was the first road game of the year for the Packers. They weren't good enough. They weren't clean enough. And it's been creeping up every single week so far this season. We know penalties were a problem for the Packers last season. Thought that was behind us this year, right? Week 1 against the Lions, a dominant performance. 4 penalties, 40 yards. You can live with that, right? Last week, Thursday Night Football against the Commanders, 10 penalties, 77 yards. And it was all right. It's creeping up a little bit. Now it's creeping up. This week against the Browns, 14 penalties. 14 penalties. Can't do it. Can't do it. Hard to win that way, especially in the game when you're not winning the turnover battle. Yeah, Xavier McKinney got the interception towards the end of the second half. One could argue it might have been more beneficial to just bat that one down. It was really an arm punt from Joe Flacco in the first place. But regardless, interception there. And then, of course, the Love interception in the fourth quarter on a play that Matt LaFleur himself said he should not have called in that particular situation. So, not a good game there. Offensive line wasn't good. We knew Cleveland's defense coming to this game. A good defense. Like, yes, they have lost 2 games. Yes, they gave up a bunch of points. But the defense has been stingy, like in a yard per game type of basis. The Cleveland Browns defense has been stingy. And the concern coming to this game with all the attention on Myles Garrett, can the Packers give him enough time? Love being the him I'm talking about right here, enough time to actually let the plays develop downfield so he can actually hit his guys down the field, because we know the Browns love to run out of man coverage. Can the Packers get enough time for the routes to develop? The answer was no. No, they could not. Jordan Love was under duress most of this game. It began at the very, very beginning. I mean, we saw Zach Tom, who was active for this game, get injured on the very first play, re-injuring his torn oblique. After the game, Matt LaFleur did say it was obviously the wrong decision to play Zach Tom, and that they cannot allow that to happen. And absolutely, that is very, very true, Matt LaFleur. Like, we've heard the rumblings of Jair Alexander last year coming back too early. We've heard it from a few other players over the last few years. So yeah, we don't want to get into that range right there, but you have Tom go down, and throughout the game, you had Banks out of the game. You had Walker out of the game at one point. He did return, but you had so much scrambling on that offensive line. And Jordan Morgan, woo boy, even Rasheed Walker had some, Jenkins had some moments. Offensive line as a whole just was not that great in this game. Yes, injuries played a part in it, but still not good enough. Too many pre-snap penalties. Just not doing a good job of picking up the pressure when it was coming through either. This, again, it's disappointing to go out this way, because you look at the records alone and you're like, this is the team that the Packers should beat. Everyone expected the Packers to beat the Browns. Like, you didn't see even many national pundits picking the Browns over the Packers in this game. And this game is another example to show you that you got to bring it every week. You cannot play down the competition, if you want to call it that. You cannot beat yourself in the process with the false starts, with the ineligible man downfield, with holding penalty. You can't do it. You can't do it. If you keep shooting your own self in the foot against a team that, even though on paper it looks like you should beat, You're going to give them a chance to be in the game. Any given Sunday is a phrase for a reason. And we've heard Matt LaFleur say that, the NFL can humble you quick. Packers were humbled this week. They were humbled. So coming out of this one, coming into this game, you heard the undefeated talk. I believe from Rasheed Walker coming into this game. It's out the window now. It's out the window. Your first road game of the year, you failed that test. Can you pass the test next week against the Dallas Cowboys before you go into your bye week? Like, that's going to be the hope that you learn from this. This is a disappointment. I said all the dis words. You know what I mean? You have to come back and learn from this. It's a young season. Like, all of the hoopla around being 2-0, it's cool, but it's still September. This loss, don't want it, but it's still September. There's a lot of football left to play. And if the Packers show us next week that they learned some lessons here and they can pay it forward, you should be in good shape. Do want to mention this before I get out of here. The last two games prior to this one between the Browns and the Packers have been decided by a combined 8 points. You throw this one in there, now the last three games have been decided by 11 points. Sometimes things get weird when the Packers play the Browns, and it got weird in this one, but a lot of the weirdness in this game, I honestly associate to the Packers. Like, they just have to be better, and the hope is that they will be. Will be a lot more breakdowns of this game on the Pack a Day podcast YouTube channel on the audio side as well. So make sure you keep it locked into Pack a Day. And as always, in wins and losses, it don't matter. It's always go Pack, go.